used to be the recording went to Aidan's personal.
No, that was for the
but
contributors.
oh, that was the contributor. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry, I
yeah,
missed that. Okay, so this one has always been good.
yeah.
Okay, good. Should we start with the intro and then we'll jump to Denis and your hackathon team to show us the interesting demo we all look forward to?
That's what I was thinking. So first of all, I want to say this might be a record. There's like 30 people in here, which is absolutely insane and amazing. And wow, yeah, 29 people. Wow. Nope, 30 as of this person's name, who is there's a lot of characters in there, but yeah. So welcome all. That's amazing. I'm like blown away by that. So oh, we got another one. So yeah, so let's just jump right in. So I will. So we usually start these meetings just by allowing new people to introduce themselves, and there seem to be quite a few new people in this meeting. So I guess I'll introduce what we're doing here. This is the Kagent community meeting. For those who have been here, for those who haven't, welcome. This is where we talk about all things AI, Kagent, agent, and so yeah, we share demos, we talk about updates, we talk agents, we talk Kubernetes, etc. So yeah, there's a bunch of new people in here. And every week we try to allow new people to introduce themselves, say how they heard about Kagent, what they're interested in learning, what they're working on. So if yeah, anyone is willing to just jump in, there's quite a few new people. So if anyone wants to kick us off, that'd be awesome. Mm.
Yeah, I just want to say good morning from Pakistan.
Good morning. Good morning. What time is it there?
So it's 9 p.m. here in Pakistan.
Oh,
But you guys starting your day, so I wanted to
yeah,
you the good morning.
true. All right. Well, no pressure for anyone else to share. I'll continue sort of rambling for another couple of seconds, unless anyone else wants to share. So it seems like that everyone who's wanted to share shared. So with that in mind, yeah, I think we're good to. Lynn, do you have anything to share before we hand it over to Dennis?
No, I think everybody is looking forward to hear from Dennis. Dennis, do you want to introduce the hackathon team first of all?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks a lot. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, it's nice because of we prepare something for you, and I just want to start and give you a bit context of what we did, and next I will hand over my time to Vitaly, and he actually introduce himself. And next, it will be some kind of live demo regarding our results, our achievements, and whatever. Let me just share the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dennis, I think you are the first one running a hackathon around Kagent. If you have any special tips and anything, because we want to be able to run more hackathons around Kagent. So if you have any tips or experience in running a hackathon, we'd appreciate that too. So a huge shout out to you for running the first hackathon for the community.
Yeah, absolutely, because of so this is the real challenging for the new stuff related to the all kind of agentic AI, and especially with the complex infrastructure related to the A2A, MCP, Kagent as a Kubernetes framework. And I'm absolutely happy that the version 0.5 switched to the ADK from the after again, so this is the all kind of amazing things. So, and that's why we're trying to involve more people as possible, for the agentic Kubernetes, and especially, all kind of frameworks to develop your agent, to manage your agents and whatever. So I would like to just have a quick recap. That's what we are experimenting with, and what was the main target of this hackathon. So what is the task for the teams, and what is the achievements? Okay, so just for the context. So first of all, Kagent is a really brilliant project because of we can easily integrate the agents capabilities like a MCP, A2A, and all kind of workaround of the agentic. So, and we starting experimenting with our infrastructure because of for my side, I'm a principal SRE, so that's why we more focusing on the infrastructure things and all kind of release process, reliability, and all this stuff, So, and the part of the agentic AI to help us to solve our day-to-day task, it's become like a really set up. So because of we spin up the Kagent, we use the Kgateway as a extension with the for Gateway API. There is an extension of especially AI Gateway to manage all the traffic and whatever. So we play with the all kind of MCP servers related to the infrastructure. The first one is the Kubernetes, GitLab, GitHub, and Flux as a GitOps. And we have a custom controllers and whatever to cover all kind of release process. We also use the agentic A2A protocol to communicate with our voice agents. So not just the IDE and this chat stuff, but you can use the conversation voice with so you can speak to your infrastructure. So this is the thing we are working with. And also, before I demonstrate some kind of use cases, how we solve real production cases with the human communication, so team, it took for us 37 minutes to find the anomaly, to detect the problems, to find the root cause, make the patch, approve, and all the things. So. And with the agentics based on them, especially with the MCP servers and Kagent as a management system, is just the 6 minutes to solve the same issue in the real time with the commits, with the Kubernetes service restarting, approvals, and this logs investigation and all this stuff. Okay, but the most important thing, we start thinking about the business part, because for sure the infrastructure is the part of the business, yeah, but the customers, we're starting to think about the customers. And my idea, let's say, the whole idea that I'm working now so heavily, this mental thinking and whatever, that's A2A and MCP, the potential evolution for our, generic custom web interaction with this world, because of the huge amount of possibilities to use these protocols with agentic AI to change the mindset for our clients and to supply the new way for clients to to work with their data and whatever. And this is the simple example that we bring as a task for hackathon, is we have a traditional API with our UI and UX for user experience, with our browser UIs and whatever. So, for example, this is the single page UI that we can use as a platform, as a service, and whatever. So customer need to bring the browser, open the page, and this is the single page, all kind of piece of things on this page. It's some kind of micro front end that call the backend for this micro front ends, let's say. So, and this is the interaction. So single page, a lot of API calls for different services, let's say microservices work running on the Kubernetes stuff. And this is the, let's say, traditional infrastructure, what we have now. Okay. So the main part here, this is the API. And my idea to have this API transformation to the agentic AI. So, but no code, no change the, let's say, backend applications, just have the API and translate it to the MCP as a tools or A2A as a skill, okay? And this is the maybe, let's say, ideally result that I would like to achieve. Because of every micro front end on this page can be treated as an MCP tool. The group of the, let's say, tools, we can treat as the A2A skills. So I would like to change the mindset for, or let's say, supply the option for my customer to open the browser, find some kind of skilled analytics to understand all kind of numbers and whatever, or just use your business AI assistant, you know, and with the voice, with the conversation, with just the one click and whatever, give them access to customer data with the tools and the skills. Just ask your assistant, give me the, I don't know, the best option to buy something, car or whatever, any analytics. And I would like to get the answer or recommendation. I don't want to be boring with some kind of, analytics, trying to switch the filters, or for example, so to understand what is the UI consist with the, okay, this menu, this filter, this button, and whatever. No, I just want to get the answer, but not the process, And this is the maybe main thing I'm give a task for our teams for the hackathon, because of the teams. It's the let's say this is the community of DevOps, SREs, developers, and whatever. So I'm just ask them. So guys, we have a Kubernetes, we have a framework, and my recommendation to use and try Kagent. We have an MCP and A2A. So let's make some kind of ideas, some kind of infrastructure to realize the new interface for my business application. So I have a business application with the Swagger, with the API. I have a Kagent in the middle, and I have a client. So give me this interface. And this is what hackathon about. And now I can switch to Vitaly and to the more technical details, more infrastructure things, more technical boring stuff, and for sure the live demo for Kagent. Okay?
And so, hi all. I want to start from saying thank you to the Kagent community. First of all, about their product, and then second about the invite to this community meeting. And I hope I will have something to share with you, something interesting, and it's the MCP operator tool that we built and integrate with Kagent pretty recently.
You need to share the screen.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So, and what specifically I will be going to talk on the presentation, it's how we can transform any actual API. In our case, some open APIs with open data somewhere from the web into some kind of agent, especially on the Kagent framework. And shortly about the API, the OpenEQ is like open data about air quality with different endpoints and so on. And weather API is just API where you can take the weather forecast. Oh, nothing special here. And about the boring stuff, like Dennis told already, it's how our operator actually behaves. And what's the pleasure to working with it? You just need to specify the URL or in the future maybe file you're going to add it on some point to the our CRD, and in the result you will have the agent on the Kagent platform or just MCP. It depends on what you actually want. So let's consider the flow. You just put the URL. Our MCP operator handles our CR, running the pods and service, and it's already exposed, and you can work with MCP directly. Or if we want, we can actually, I forgot to include this in the actual slide, so let me switch to the definitions. So as you can see, we may add the Kagent integration, and it fully supports the Kagent definitions, and we can create agent from our definition, and in the end we will have the agent. So let me start from the actual demo without any maybe redundant words. It installs just by Helm. I hope it will be pretty quickly right now because I preloaded the image.
We can see only demonstration of your slides, so no terminal, please.
So you don't see my terminal?
No, only presentation, I guess.
Oh, that's not good. Let me try to share again. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you
Maybe
zoom-
make the
Yeah,
font.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's better, right? Yeah, so unfortunately, I already did the setup while you didn't see it, but I think we can skip in this case now. And our operator is set up here. Also, you may see a lot of other pods. I have pre-installed Kagent already. Yeah, and worth mentioning, to make our tool work like it's works now, we had to patch Kagent a little, and maybe we might suggest that change, which I'll be talking later once we switch to the actual UI of Kagent. So here is the definition that I am going to apply to the Kubernetes right now. It has some description. It's for humans only, I believe, and the system message to the AI that we are going to use, models and skills and data config. It's optional, but I think it's pretty useful even in our case. So I'm running it, and we can see the MCP agent is deploying. Our MCP server is ready already, and we switch into our UI part, and we may see in tool servers already the tool from Weather API, and if agent is ready, it seems to be ready, we may start to talk with it, with the agent.
Can you please zoom in a bit?
Yeah.
Browser. Yeah, thanks.
Let's more. So, and I usually ask for the weather forecast because it's weather agent. So let's do this again and say new weather. Maybe anybody want to name a city to show? the weather? No.
Show me London, please.
Ah,
We have
it's
31 at the moment.
today or even now. Maybe he will figure out. As you can see, it does few attempts to MCP server. The API is pretty complex in terms of like parameters, and our definition for the agent is kind of default one, so it takes few attempts to find out the correct arguments combination, as you may see here. And let me zoom out a little. And we get results for today's date, some additional information, not just temperature, human explanation, and as I asked in the prompt, in the system prompt, it's all formatted as Markdown. And that's pretty it. As you may see, we just put the URL, add some definition with Kagent integration, and we have tool server and the actual agent which you can attach as a tool to any other agent. I won't do it, I just will show you here because it won't make a lot of sense to attach other agent to some Kubernetes observer, but who knows? Yeah.
But Vitaly, I would like to just to have some kind of bottom line, the summarization. So the all kind of magic under the hood, what we observe now. So we have just the weather service. It can be any service, whatever you have the API, public API. We just put this link in the CR. So this is the custom resource for our operator, and operator automatically gets the API, transfer the API to the MCP server tools, run the MCP server. Next, it's create the tool set for the K agent and set up the agent to use these tools. And just for the 30 seconds, you have a pure MCP tool for any API in your agentic, let's say, kit, And now you can use the MCP, you can use A2A because of K agent under the hood, or let's say out of box, it supporting to A2A calls from the any other agent, for this new one. You only need to some kind of parameters and maybe authentication and whatever. So this is the point. Just in one configuration, we can transfer any API to the agentic AI.
Yeah, and actually nothing to add. And for me as a main developer on the project, it's pretty understandable that there is no magic. It's just controller behaves like controller and generator like generator. But from other perspective, if you are not developer of the tool, you can see that it works pretty fast with any API that you may edit. And to justify that, I want to show another example where API is a bit more complex than the previous one. It has more than one endpoint with it's up to 40, if I'm not wrong, endpoints, and we can run it like we ran before. Also, it has some API authorization, which supported by our tool. In this case, it's IP key authorization, and I believe it's already running while I'm in talking. And yes, it's all running here, and we can see the tool server here. It's not so great. Yeah.
But by the way, while you troubleshooting, so the thing is that the second example, this is the example where we hitting some kind of Kagent limits, let's say, because of the huge amount of API endpoints, and what the team did we a bit patching the Kagent to support, more than 20 tools because of, for example, in this particular example, we have a 40 API endpoints and tools. That's why we need to a bit tune the Kagent at the moment. And sure, there is a lot of parameters for each endpoint, so you need more, let's say, system prompts for agents because of and especially you need to ask your agent to, in case of some kind of parameters in a call, you can use default, some kind of default, because of, for example, for 10 parameters, you cannot in a single prompt, put the all of them. So you just ask your agent, okay, so my weather or my, I don't know, item the same, but all kind of other parameters for this API, just use default solution values. And yeah, that's it. Yeah, Lynn. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, this is awesome. And there's a question in the chat I want to make sure we get to before I ask my question. Is this available as open source from Andre?
Kind of, almost. We wanted to open the source right after the meeting, like some celebration of the product. But yeah, it will be available.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the plan is to open source, but not yet.
Yes. Right after the community meeting, if all goes well, it will be open source.
Awesome. My question is, so I understand how you, let me make sure I understand what your demo. So basically through your MCP controller, you can bring open API spec as a potential, as an MCP server. You can have Kagent automatically discover the tools from the MCP server and list the tools for Kagent users to use as part of any agents that people are building. And on top of that, are you manually create the agent, or are you automatically create the agent? That's what got me confused, because you said there's 40 plus tools with this MCP server. You were hitting a limit with Kagent. Were you building the agents also automatically, or that's kind of it's more selective by the human?
No, it's all, like in default setup is agents. The agents are defined by humans. I mean, the system prompts, the skills, because it's out of the scope of our product. We just added the integration, so it will be easier for potential users of our tool to run it from in 1 minute, I would say.
Lynn, you're asking if we create the agent automatically in the Kagent.
Right. I think the answer is no. So people would go to Kagent and create a new agent, same as today, whether they create it through the UI or create through the YAML, right?
Automatically. We drop the
you create automatically
also for tool set and for the agent, and it's appear automatically. So we delete the CR for MCP, we delete the agent, and what so all kind of things is automatic. So we generate the CR for agent. Vitaly.
Okay, that's why you hit that limit. Okay, that makes sense.
I got you wrong. I thought you about system prompts and so on, and we are not at that stage yet.
Yeah, so the system prompts is predefined in our controller for sure, but for the agent management is fully automated. So we drop the tools, we drop the agent, and that's it. It's appear in the UI.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. That's very interesting. And you all know we have open source project, I think it was a week ago, right? KMCP, which has a little bit somewhat similarity as this hackathon project, which is what's make it very interesting also. But I do think this kind of complements each other too, right? Because you have built-in support for Open API spec. you have this notion of automatically create the agent, which is an interesting thought. I always think user might want to manually create the agent, or what's your thinking process of creating the agents automatically based on the MCP server tool? Would that be limiting their agents, only selecting the tool sets from like one MCP server?
Yes, it was actually done to automatically bind the tools from the MC server to the agent, but we considering to allow not only the tool from the MCP server that we are creating, but allow to add additional tools to the agent while you define it by our MCP. So like merging the tools from the MCP server that we are creating plus something additional. So you don't need to update it manually once it's created, because it always can be a case when you want to have several different APIs or MCP servers under the one agent, but it's not ready yet.
Okay, so it's a good starting point to help user kind of jumpstart their agent.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's cool. I'm going to take a pause, see if other people have any questions. I assume you have more to show us, or are you done with your demo? Sorry.
Yeah, actually, I had to show something, but I also might answer some questions at the moment. I see.
Yeah, so Dimitri had a question. Dimitri, why don't you open up your mic and ask?
Okay. First of all, thanks a lot. I think you had a lot of fun with hackathon and going through the operators and all of that, right? But there is like in our kind of ecosystem of Kagent, agent gateway, and so on, there is already alternative to put the open API via agent gateway. Have you considered that? Did you find any like limitation or issues to go that route?
Actually, while we started to develop the MCP operator, we seen that agent gateway, and our point was it's to make the tool that allows you to work not only with agent gateway, but actually with any gateway that you already have in your system. So it's more like more granular tools that don't rely only on some exact setup like gateway and agent gateway.
Okay. And did you try the KMCP or not yet?
Not yet. We've been busy.
The thing is very, very funny thing that KMCP, it was our first name of this project actually, and we started.
Yeah, I noticed that something like that. Yeah.
Discuss with Lin, and Lin, we just started the project just on the second day, you know, after the Sol.io starting the KMCP. It was so funny, yeah, but. Yeah, the thing is that yeah, for sure, the teams was really busy with the development and the part of the research, and at the moment KMCP still maybe in 1 week we're starting the hackathon, the MCP starting appear on the public and whatever, so that's why we're not taking in account. As for any other solution, this is the thing, is not just the hackathon is not about the integration, but more about the development process, you know.
Yeah,
so,
I think your goal was actually the operators and how to connect it to the agentic. That's clear to me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So this is the Kubernetes controller. This is the Kubernetes native way to work around the existing solutions. Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, and we have a roadmap actually. So just to and the agent gateway is a part of, you know, to consider, because of this is the really compatible and feature thing for now, especially with the authentication with the open API under the hood, Rust as a code base. It's very fast, very lightweight, and this is the one of the thing. Yeah.
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 And also, like, I think in the current KMCP functionality, you can only generate the empty stub template, right? And then you need to add tools. I think we are missing there also like a similar capability that we can generate entire MCP with tools, with everything from one shot. So I think I logged already one issue where potentially to use Open API from another side. So you can use Open API to define your MCP tool server and generate it using KMCP.
Yeah, absolutely great idea. Because of back to Lynn's question about the this ADK, let's say a KMCP. Yes, we can create the pattern. We can use the KMCP, to make this thing. But for our points is the most important. It's the zero code for developers just to drop the single CR and as a result get the tools and agent already in the Kagent. So this is the thing.
Yep. Okay.
And about our future planning and the roadmap, we already discussed a few points like ability to add in your own tools while creating the agent by our CRD, and also we want to bring some possibility to exclude and include some tools like in the generation. While you're generating the API, you sometimes want to exclude or group tool into one, and it's our main goal for now is add such a feature. Other stuff is not so fascinating, I would say, like monitoring and observability and so on, because it's must have in all operator products and controllers. It's nothing to add here.
I guess we already have this in the Kagent, so all kind of metrics, and in case of agent gateway, Kai gateway, and whatever, this is the cover. So, and this is the brilliant thing that we can use the integration where the proper tool already implement the observability, filtering, and all the stuff, so we can share the things. Actually, we have some kind of question in the comments. What is tools under the hood? So I guess this is the next slide, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And here is next slide with tools and acknowledgements for them. It's pretty short list, and the core in the generation is FastMCP plus some own wrapper at the top, Kagent, of course, which we integrated recently to be able to create agents with no code. And as I mentioned already, we had to patch it a little because of limitations that the agent have. It's also not possible right now in Kagent to, even when you create the tool server by Kagent, without our tools, include all tools into the agent. Of course, it might be useful for cases like I showed up here for the weather API, where it's one endpoint, or maybe it's like 5 endpoints or tools in the API. It could be pretty useful when you can put all tools with no code and no additional steps into the agent directly. Actually, that's all what I wanted to say. Maybe questions.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions. Oh, one, yeah. So my colleague, happy to see you here. Thank you to join. So, do we have a mechanism established for interaction clarification? It's a priority. I want to agent to clarify. It's priority 0, priority 1. So this is maybe about the filters and the configuration. So we're working on it, actually. Yeah. Agents built with the Kagent wrapper are designed the correct itself and retry. Design it, correct itself and retry.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking more from the perspective of, let's say it just makes a bad API call, gets 400 bad requests. So does it immediately take the corrective actions itself? I know without intervention. So I think the intervention you clarified on the first point. But say no intervention needed, but it identified something was wrong from itself.
I can answer that. The answer is basically it depends. It absolutely can. It depends on the system prompt. So if you tell it that it is allowed to and it should, then it will. If you tell it explicitly that if it fails, it should ask you for recommendations or whatever, then it'll probably do that. So it's really, you're right. It's really less specifically about the framework. It's more about what you tell it to do. In that case, it is able to do both.
Right. All right. No, good to know. Thank you again. Probably the last one was just more about the general practices that we should be following when it comes to building a framework, testing framework around these. So we often have a challenges of building the testing framework real time versus something mostly on a batch mode. So what are the recommendations that you guys propose from this overall framework perspective for anyone who is building agentic workflows, let's say?
Lean.
Ethan?
Yeah,
Me?
is this a question for the hackathon team or for the Kagent?
Yeah, who's this question for? Yeah, sorry.
For the framework for the Kagent, because of
Oh, yeah. So I think it's such a good question. I think that in general, like testing. Okay, let's separate it into two things. Testing an MCP server is easy. It's like, well, it's not easy, but it's more like testing a traditional REST API, right? Like there are tools. You can list those tools. You can interact with them. You know what they do, right? Or they should do the same thing every time. Assuming it is implemented as a, okay, I'll take you a step back. Technically, an MCP server can do anything, just like a normal REST server. But assuming that you know what it's supposed to do and it's not using an LLM, then you can test it that way. Now, stepping back into an agent cannot be tested like a typical application because of the LLM. If you mock, so one thing that we've been thinking about doing in Kagent is mocking the LLM so that when the LLM performs exactly as we tell it to, the application performs exactly as we expect. Now, it's kind of useless to have an end-to-end test that uses a real LLM because you can't know that it's going to work. So the answer there is really evals, right? You want like statistical models that say like, is this, or like run 100 and see if it gets it right, X number of times, whatever. Run 100 different tests and see how many it gets correct, right? That sort of thing. And so we're actually working on evals, and that's something that we're very interested in adding support for directly to Kagent. So that is something that we're interested in adding directly and supporting directly in Kagent, because we know how important that's going to be to really deploying these in production. So.
Yeah, no, makes sense. I mean, even we have been cracking our head around it. So one of the simple case was, can we use an open source LLM for testing purposes and then use a proper paid one in the production? But then your point, like, probably doesn't make sense because we're going to use one model for testing and then use another one in the production.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
It's a no-go. And can I really use the production LLM for all the testing? Probably not. It's going to be very expensive, going to blow up all the money in the testing frameworks itself. So yeah, I mean, I agree. It's quite a bit of a gray area, and evals probably would come into play. All right, thank you very much once again. Great demo, please.
Yeah, of course. And also when we, I think that whatever we end up creating for that mock LLM service, maybe that can even be reusable, and we could see if we can make it easy to use that in end-to-end tests across, right? If you want to use that or whoever. So
yeah, and I think just to add on that, for every agent consists from prompt, right, and tools, and basically in terms of like LLM ops and all the techniques still applies. You have like prompt optimization, you have various different pipelines that can be run before you put your prompts into the agents, especially like to verify that your prompts work on specific LLM. So for example, current agents that we have by default might be working perfectly fine with OpenAI, and then maybe work differently with your local Llama and stuff like that. So you need like to have proper ways to optimize your prompts. And I think every vendor now is also providing some tools for that. Like you have the ability to give a starting prompt, and then as a result, you will get like much better prompt, which works 90% with the given tools.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Awesome. And I love your idea, Dimitro, in the chat too, for the next hackathon project.
Yeah. This is the some kind of some sort of hiring. Okay, guys, let's develop for agent and KMTP. Yeah, yeah, good. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Vitaly, you can switch to the some kind of slide with the context if you would like to. Yeah, join with the guys. Yeah, we are all in the LinkedIn, so yeah, you are welcome. And
awesome. So is that repo already open source?
It will be right after I disable the screen sharing. Yeah, because I can't.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We will make the post with all the stuff. Some kind of let's say follow up. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and really thanks for like popularizing, Kagent, spreading it and bringing more users. I think it's very good, and also bringing the new ideas and feedback.
Yeah, super cool.
Thank you so much for taking the time and show us a live demo too. Really appreciate it. You guys definitely are the best hackathon team we ever had, because it's the first one. Awesome. Should we wrap it up, or is there anything else anyone wants to ask before we end?
I think we're right at time. I think that's perfect.
Yeah, this sets a record for attendees too. So thank you again, Dini, and your hackathon team. Much appreciated. Thank you all for joining. See you next week.
Bye.
Thank
See you
you.
later.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.